Hello everyone, my name is Luke, and I'll be starting off this presentation with a review of AWS CI/CD tools. More specifically, I'll be covering Code Pipeline, Code Build, and Code Deploy, which are AWS's main services for automating the software delivery process. In this presentation, we'll explain how these tools work together, go over their pricing, strengths and weaknesses, compare them to other platforms, and finish with our overall recommendation for student use. First, to understand AWS CI/CD, it helps to think of these tools as a relay race. Code Pipeline is the service that controls the overall workflow. It takes in-source code changes and moves them through each stage. Code Build handles the build process by compiling code, running scripts, and creating artifacts. Then Code Deploy, or in some cases S3, handles delivery to the final environment. Together, these services automate the path from code commit to deployment. Looking more closely at each tool, Code Pipeline is the orchestrator. It defines stages like source, build, test, and deploy. And it can also include approval gates before moving forward. Code Build is more like the build engine. It runs commands inside isolated containers and supports many common programming languages, while also scaling automatically. Code Deploy is the deployment tool. It pushes applications to AWS services like EC2, Lambda, and ECS using strategies like Blue-Green, Canary, or rolling deployments. For simple static websites hosted in S3, Code Deploy may not even be necessary. One major advantage of AWS CI/CD for students is cost. Based on this review, Code Pipeline can be free at low usage levels. Code Build includes 100 free build minutes on the small compute tier, and Code Deploy is free for EC2, Lambda, and ECS deployments. That means a basic student project, especially something like an S3 static page, can run at basically $0 per month. Even with regular use, the monthly cost can stay under $2. When compared to other CI/CD platforms, AWS CI/CD is strongest in AWS native environments, but it does not lead overall adoption. GitHub Actions lead with 33%, followed by Jenkins at 28%, Azure DevOps at around 24%, and GitLab at about 9%. AWS CI/CD is shown at about 3%. This suggests that while AWS tools are powerful, they are more specialized and less widely used than some competitors, especially when it comes to ease of use and community support.
What is going on, you guys? I'm Blake. I'm going to show you a code change in the technical overview, I guess. So here we go. Code change right here. We want Micro Center to Stillwater now. So that's my change. Throw it in the commit and push. Obviously, I say we need that right now. And then we're going to go up here and commit. Push that right there, I guess, too. And then we're going to push it as well. So click on it. Boom. Push, 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 push. There we go. Nice. Now we're pushed. So if we go to the GitHub now, we can see 30 minutes ago. Nah, right now. Fresh update, main branch. That is where the change is. Okay. Now, bang. Cool. As you can see, the page has just Stillwater. It doesn't say now yet. We need to go release that change for the pipeline to deploy it. So go and release that. Back to the code pipeline page. I sped it up like 500%. So it's going to be pretty quick here. And any day now. Let's see this. Cool. Okay. Awesome. No errors. Look at that. Now. Perfect. Perfect. AWS is a breeze and it's super user-friendly. I highly recommend. And now to Cole.
AWS has many clear strengths that help separate it from other platforms. Their services are extensive and integrate extremely well with the AWS ecosystem. They are fully managed and serverless. The pricing model is accessible because pay-as-you-go, or it also includes a free tier, and the platform provides strong security by default. Even with those strengths, AWS CI/CD also has some important weaknesses to note. One of the biggest is vendor lock-in, since the workflows are deeply tied to AWS services, the steep learning curve that comes with the platform, the developer experience can be less polished with weaker workflows and fewer built-in collaboration features, and finally, the service model can feel fragmented at times, requiring users to combine several AWS tools just to create one complete pipeline. A real-world example where you can see AWS CI/CD in practice is Nissan, who has more than 5,000 developers working across over 100 countries, and they migrated from on-premises CI servers to AWS services, including Code Pipeline and Code Build. They saw a 75% reduction in testing time and deployment times reduced to about 1 minute. This shows that AWS CI/CD can deliver real value at scale, especially for large organizations with complex infrastructure needs. AWS also came out with several key updates from 2024 to 2025, such as Code Pipeline version 2, which became the default, adding many key features. Code Build added managed GitHub Actions and GitLab runners, and other features that reduced build times dramatically. These updates show that AWS is actively investing in making its CI/CD platform more capable and efficient. Overall, this review gives AWS CI/CD mixed, but generally positive ratings. It scores lower in ease of use because of the learning curve, but very high in pricing and feature depth. We did a pound-for-pound cost comparison between Azure and AWS using two nearly identical environment setups on each service. A basic CPU with 100 gigabyte SSD storage and 24/7 uptime. AWS in this came out to about $131 per month, beating Azure by 50 cents. AWS CI/CD really demonstrates why it is a market leader when working on projects that already live inside AWS and need deeper integration with its many services. Overall, it receives a 7 out of 10, and AWS CI/CD is a solid professional grade toolset, but it is best suited for just that, AWS focused environments rather than absolute beginners. Thank you.